Today we are making tiramisu, and this dish clocks in at 275 calories per portion, 5 grams of proteins, 24 grams of carbs and 18 grams of fat. This is quite easy. We're gonna start off by making coffee because we need that coffee to cool down. But to start off, if you're using one of those mocha pots that I'm using, we're going to need 2 batches of coffee from those. And we're gonna use that coffee to coat our Ladyfingers. As always, there's a link to a spreadsheet in the description where you can change the portion size and the total calories, and the macros will follow. Then we need to separate some eggs, so we're gonna need 5 egg yolks. Today we're not gonna make our own Ladyfingers, but we're gonna use store-bought ones, and they're relatively easy to find and they work great as well. If we don't allow our coffee to cool down before we dip the Ladyfingers in them, they're just gonna disintegrate and fall all over the place, so we need the coffee to cool down before we're able to use it. Just second batch of coffee, same thing, pour it somewhere that's fairly wide so it cools down faster and you're able to dip the Ladyfingers when we get to that. After that, 125 grams of sugar. I've thought about adding more sugar to this because it's not very sweet, but if you're the kind of person who likes a very sweet dessert, then I suggest you add some more sugar. 125, it doesn't make it taste super sweet, but it's a fine balance. It depends on what you like. I thought about adding more, I've never done it, but we're using 125 grams today. We're gonna put the sugar into our eggs, and what we need to do here is whisk our eggs and our sugar, and we're going to whisk that for quite a long time. We want that to be fluffy and airy. You can use a regular whisk to do this, you don't need a stand mixer or anything, but it's easy if you have one, then you can just walk away and do something else. Next we're going to need some mascarpone, and when our eggs have been whisking for, I would say, 5 minutes or so, eggs and sugar, then we're ready to add our mascarpone. And what we want to do then is not to whisk it too fast in the beginning, because if we whisk it too fast then the mixture might separate, and that's not what we want. So when we have added this, we want to start off slow, and when you whisk this slow for a minute or two, then you can increase the speed. And here you should also add 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract, which I forgot, but it's better if you don't forget it, so please do. I like to coat my pan with baking paper and just put it in and cut it off at the edge. And if you're using one of these ring molds, then it won't stick to the edges once you try to remove them. And if you turn it the other way so it won't roll, then it will actually just hug the edges quite well. So our mixture has been whisking for 4 or 5 minutes now, and that means that we're able to use it. And it's not much more difficult than this if you're using pre-bought Ladyfingers. It's very easy to make, and it's very good as well, and also surprisingly low in calories. I've always hated when people in baking videos just use some cooking vessel and you have no idea of how big it is. So here you are. This is 22 centimeters or 9 inches, and this is perfect if you want to make a tiramisu. Another thing that's good to know is that this freezes really well, so if you want to pre-make it and put it in the freezer, it works really well to take it out and thaw it for when you want to eat. This is the most tricky part of everything, is that you just want to be very quick when you're dipping your Ladyfingers in the coffee. They will disintegrate very fast, And if you don't allow the liquid to drip off, then eventually the coffee will settle in the bottom of the tray when you have this in the refrigerator. And once you remove it, it will just pour coffee all over the place. So a quick dunk in the coffee and then allow the coffee to run off before you put them in the mold. We want to do 2 layers. 1 layer of Ladyfingers and mascarpone, egg and sugar mixture. And then we want to do the exact same thing. Sometimes these won't line up perfectly, so it's a good idea to turn the mold once you do your second layer. So then you make sure that you will have some cookie all over. Then try to use roughly half of your batter. Since it's this firm, it's quite easy to estimate what half is. Then simply spread it. We're gonna do the same thing for layer 2. And as I said, this is a super easy dessert to make, especially if you're using pre-made Ladyfingers. And after layer 2, we are simply going to make this look a little bit more even. Then we're gonna place that in the fridge. And once you're ready to eat this, this is the next day or 2 days after. Just sprinkle some cocoa powder on it. So that's it. It's really super simple and very tasty. So thanks for watching and I hope you enjoy.